What is project management? Why do we need project management to succeed with projects? Projects are unique, temporary and risky. There is a chance for project failure. 30 to 40% of projects fail to meet stakeholder expectations. Projects fail because of unrealistic business case, unclear roles and responsibilities, poor planning, lack of resources, poor stakeholder management and communications, poor risk management, gap in stakeholder expectation, and the main reason for project failure is poor project management. So why this track record? Many organizations seem to believe that project management is just common sense, that everybody with common sense can manage a project. And project management is also often called the accidental profession, meaning that people start projects, take on the role as project manager or project owner or important roles in the project team without project management knowledge and skills. So the accidental profession means that you work as an engineer, you work with finances, you work with something else in your business, and then suddenly you're asked to become the project manager or maybe to have a key role in the project team. And you take on this and then you start working and you don't really know how to plan, organize or execute a project. Project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools and techniques to project activities to meet the project requirements. That's a definition from PMI, the Project Management Institute. Project management includes knowledge, skills, tools and techniques for developing a business case, organizing a project, planning a project, executing the project, closing the project, and then perform benefits realization during the project or once the project is completed. All projects are triggered by a need, either within your own organization or it could be in a client's organization. We start with a feasibility study. The feasibility study is usually for internal projects. It defines the need, it defines the business benefits, and then we develop a business case. If it is a client need, then they issue an invitation to tender, and then we, as a supplier, we develop a tender and hopefully we get a contract. So the contract and the business case is really then the trigger for the project. And the project starts with project planning. And in the planning phase, first of all, we need to assign the project manager. So the project owner assigns the project manager through a project charter. And we also need to identify stakeholders to make sure that we have a total overview of the needs and the scope of work for the project. In the planning phase, we want to establish the project plan. So we start with the project objectives, we develop the scope of work, we describe the scope of work, then we establish a schedule, the cost estimate, and then we perform a risk assessment. And then we're able to baseline the schedule and define a budget for the project. And then we have a project plan. The project plan is then approved. And if it's approved, we can start execution. In execution, we perform the work. We have a good team for performing the work. The project manager delegates work packages, activities. We follow up progress. We manage changes. We manage issues, deviations. We manage the risks. And when we have completed the work, we hand over the product either to the organizational unit that is going to use the project or the product, or to the client, and then these organizations are then responsible for benefits realization. And once we have handed over the product, we start closing. In closing, we collect the lessons learned, We have the end results, we create the final report, we compare actual versus planned, and once we have delivered all the requirements for the final report, then the project owner will formally close the project, and the project manager, the project team are released and can start new assignments. Let's look at some project management examples. These are examples or situations to avoid. First, time pressure from the start. No time to plan. We start execution as soon as possible, and we manage problems as they come along. This is a recipe for project failure. And then we have underestimating the project complexity. The project plan is too optimistic. Major time and cost overruns during execution is also a recipe for project failure. And then we have unrealistic project end date and budget. The client wants the project tomorrow, and the supplier agrees to get the job. This is a recipe for project failure for the supplier. The project manager is not capable of managing the project, which again is a recipe for project failure. And then, last but not least, the business case is a dream. Then the project becomes a nightmare. Projects are a great tool for developing and delivering new products, new services, and exploiting new opportunities. And project management is the key to successful projects if you follow the project management recipe. And project success relies on capable project owners, capable project managers, and capable project teams.